Hey everybody, it's your man on the wall. What's happening? It's your man on the wall, Chris Fury. What's going on? If you're watching right now, thank you for tuning in. Guess what? You need to hit that notification bell on the YouTube channel and you can get more action with Fury's Reacts and Reviews, where I'll be doing reviews on movies, television shows, comics, and more. Short form, of course. And it wouldn't be right. It wouldn't be right, but if in the words of great people, thank you once again for tuning in. Thank you for following us. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook, obviously, and anywhere you listen to your podcast, including Opulence Radio. I'm a little tired today. It's just been a week, if everyone's noticed, but that's okay. I'm still here. I'm still strong. I'm still standing up. I went down for the 8. Got up on the 8 count and got back up. So, before we get into it, there's a lot going on in obviously the geek entertainment industry. And Warner Brothers Discovery can't seem to stay the hell out the news. And it's not for good reasons, neither. Word has been coming across all week, really, that, as many know, Batgirl was canceled. It's not being released. It's completely shelved. It was nearly completed. Some people say it was completed, but at any rate, $90 million, boom, done. But word came out this week that not only did the testing scores for it low among certain audiences, but it came out that the testing score was the same as Black Adam. Now, if you've watched the regular show on Tuesday night, you've heard me and DC mention this. And we're pretty much in solid, agreement that it's because it's The Rock. It probably costs just as much to make Black Adam, maybe a little bit more due to CGI and everything. But those first 2 weeks in, knowing that it's The Rock running this whole show, that's the draw in itself. We're not even talking about Pierce Brosnan or Aldous Hodge even being involved in the casting as Dr. Fate and Hawkman. But Jesus Christ, if it's the same testing score, why don't you just release the film? David Zaslav has gone on record as saying that they're not going to release films that they don't believe in. That's saying a lot. It's also going against the grain on a lot of stuff because, once again, Ezra Miller keeps making news. I don't want to keep talking about it, but it keeps making news. And they were charged with a felony battery, again, like in this past week. And then word came out that he's been on the WB lots doing reshoots for the Flash film, which begs the question, y'all know where their ass was at the entire time? That ain't good, man. It's a dumpster fire over there. It's scorched earth. What those reshoots involved, I don't know. They're hee-hawing about the whole what they should do next. Word came out maybe about an hour or so ago that they would like to. They're debating whether to just scrap the entire project. They have three options. One option is to basically have Ezra Miller do limited press release, do like basically an apology tour and seek therapy. That's option one. Option two is the same thing, but not have them do any kind of press. And then option three is to just scrap the whole thing. Now, at this point, you're scrapping everything else. We already know that they keep going back and forth and there's still no truth to the matter. It's kind of a grain of salt type of thing, but it's pretty safe to say that the Black Superman story that they were going to tell, the Green Lantern, hold on, let me get my co-host in for a second. The Green Lantern project that they had lined up is probably being shelved. Static Shock is probably being shelved as well. It's not looking good. And it's looking more and more like they don't trust the other projects that's coming in. Hey, Tracy.
Hi,
It,
hi. Sorry, I'm late.
oh, you're fine. There is like they're not trusting the other projects to carry any kind of weight. It's sad. It doesn't
Oh,
make a
Warner
lot of
Brothers.
sense. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and you
They
know
finally,
it's yeah. Go ahead.
I don't know. They're finally discussing what to do about Ezra.
Yeah,
Flash. You would think after pulling a breaking and entering over some
Fell-
beer and a whole family, a mother and 2 kids, are missing.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
You would think this is like
this
okay, we need to
far.
do a dead stop and just cut all ties. And I don't care how good the project looks. It's not enough to
Yeah.
sacrifice. And let's face it, everyone really was trying to see this film because Michael Keaton. Let's just face it. We were trying to see it for nostalgia purposes. You know, they even said that the Supergirl project may not even move forward. So, and when you see the other projects that they're talking about, possibly not moving forward, the Black Superman story, Static Shock, Green Lantern, which was probably going to surround John Stewart. And now this, it looks like they're going for a certain demographic. I don't even know. And then they're trying to say, oh yeah, Batgirl will show up in future projects. And I'm like, does anybody know what's going on?
Honestly, it's something that I said to my friends. I was like, you should mention this. The fact that he said that diversity is not on the top of his list, something that he's really interested in. And I'm like, that should be very telling.
Yeah.
Like what's been happening with certain films. Like, can you the fact that
it does. It makes you wonder. It really
makes you wonder, especially when the boardroom is literally all white men again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wouldn't have.
I mean, certain projects I get. Certain projects I understand. Like Kevin Smith was going to do Strange Adventures, and he had this story that was surrounding, second tier or lesser known characters. But one of the stories was involving Bizarro, and he wanted Nick Cage to play Bizarro, and I'm just like, you've been wanting Nick Cage to play Superman for so long because he was supposed to play him years ago. And I don't know. I'm just like, okay, Kevin Smith has a very weird style of telling a lot of stories, and I'm here for it, but I'm just maybe not that one.
I just want to say the 90s are over.
Yeah.
like the 90s are gone.
It's like, there's certain things, like there's nostalgia there, but there's a reason why it's there. Like we don't need to hang on to all of it.
Yeah, we don't need to hang on to everything. We don't need to milk the teat from everything. Like I feel like we're just milking the teat. Like we're definitely milking the teat from Star Wars. Like we're milking all of it.
Yeah.
So, some things just need to be staying in their era. I'm good with Nicolas Cage, just like Ghost Rider, and we're good.
Yeah, even the rumor running around that they've tried to talk to Henry Cavill. I don't know how true it is, but if it is true, then because they're saying that Cavill does not want to return, and I'm just kind of like, kind of mad. I'm not really mad at that. I can't be mad at that.
For that, but I just wish he actually had a chance. Like
because he was waving the flag. He was like, look, I want to play Superman. I still want to play, and then they burned him. They burned him, and it's just like, then all this changing is going on. He's probably better off. He's just like,
yeah, he's better off. Like he's getting like a lot of other opportunities, better opportunities, to be honest. So, but at the same time, it's just like when it comes to Superman, it's like you had the perfect casting.
Yeah,
like you had he literally looks like Superman. Like
you
have Chris Evans, who literally looks like Captain America.
Captain America, and outside the suit acts like Captain America. So it's just like
it's this perfect casting. Or like Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. Like
it makes you wonder. Casting. Like is Feige back there at the studio at Marvel just like this? Come to me, Cavill. Come to me.
Yeah, right. No, Feige is just looking at this like. We need someone to play this person.
We got a guy in mind.
And Feige's I imagine Feige's like the nicest person ever.
Mm-hmm.
But I do wonder if he's like throwing a little shade, being like, "What are y'all doing over there?"
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
he even put out he put out the apology letter the day that or the day after it was found that it was released that Batgirl was canceled. And the two directors that was directing it did a couple episodes of Miss Marvel, and he said, I was looking so forward
yeah,
to this project, and I'm sorry that this happened.
yeah,
And
because like, the vibe there is very, they want Warner Brothers to win.
yeah,
Like they don't see it as a competition. Like, I mean, at this point, how could they?
right.
Like,
This is true.
yeah. It's like you can't really see it as competition between them two at this point. But from what I understand from Disney and Marvel folks, they're just like, no, we want Warner Brothers to win. These are such rich characters we all grew up with.
Yeah.
Don't
In
want
the general basis of fans are like that.
Yeah,
General
like,
basis of fans are like, look, I folks know not only am I a big Black Panther fan, I'm a big Batman fan.
yeah.
Robert Pattinson did a fantastic job, but I want to see, Cavill did a fantastic job. Gal Gadot did a fantastic job. Jason Momoa did a fantastic job. Ray Fisher with what he had did a fantastic job. I wanted them to win. I wanted them to win.
Yeah, we all want them to win. All right, someone that's watching us right now, please tell Warner Brothers we want them to win.
It's like if you just sit down and just listen. Yeah. Like when you say, okay, we need to restart. Is this like, they saying, okay, we need to restart. And I'm okay with that. Also, but it's more of it sounds like it's more of a soft restart because you're keeping Momoa, you're keeping Godot. It seems like you have Affleck around for a little bit. I don't know.
Affleck just does what he wants at this point. He's like, yeah,
it seems like
he's like, yeah, whatever you need. Yeah, like
so it's just kind of like,
But I was wondering how they're gonna work that in with like Robert Pattinson, because I truly adored what Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves did with
beautiful.
Batman. Yeah,
totally did. It was the take that we had not seen on live screen, in live action at all, which was the detective. First off, it was the beginning stories. It wasn't that origin story, but it was the beginning story, and then it was that detective spin.
Yeah, it was like the 1 year anniversary, like his year after his year one of being Batman. So he's still kind of like fumbling a little bit, but still doing his job. And it's just like, I want to see that story develop, because especially because what we've learned about the next villain is going to be super grounded, and it's something that he's actually taking from history and like building on that character. And I love the juxtaposition that he keeps having when it comes to such a privileged superhero compared to like all his villains.
Yeah, so that whole spin that they had between him and Riddler, and I'm just like, oh wow, I like how they're doing that. And that's why he kept feeling like he was like, no, we're the same. You don't get it, Yeah.
So I love that spin on it. So don't make that stop. Like
you might have to go back to basics. You might have to, provided that Black Adam does well. Shazam is doing, I'm looking forward to Shazam because I like Zachary Levi. If you've watched Chuck, he's a fan. He's a fan at heart. He loves this type of stuff. And despite the half cameo that they did in the last film, despite the half cameo they did, it was a fantastic movie. It was fun. It was lighthearted. It steered away from all the other junk that was going on and didn't have to worry about none of that.
I love that. I know, it was very fun, and it was kind of like a nice little balance between what we usually see from DC and like just like a more like goofy side.
Right, so, especially when it's coming to Zachary Levi. It's just
exactly. Like, I feel like Zachary Levi, that's just him.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to Black Adam.
They're both going to do great. I think they're both going to do great, and I'm hoping that it gives a little bit more faith into HBO Max, into HBO Warner Brothers, because I was watching Warner Brothers this weekend. It wasn't HBO Max, but watching Sandman, And I love what Warner Brothers did with Sandman.
Episode 6. Good Lord, stuff is great.
Yeah, I binged the whole thing. I'm done. I was just like, oh, this is so good. So it's like you can churn out some good materials.
It's there. It's there for the taking. You know.
And they definitely can't fail if they're gonna have Neil Gaiman like in the room with them. So
right. You know, even with Constantine, now there's rumors that the new Constantine will be I can't remember the actor's name, but he's an actor of color. And I'm like, that's fine and all. And I don't have a problem with that. However, the current or past actor you just had was definitely nailing it. Like, he went from having a television show that was unceremoniously canceled to appearing on Arrow to appearing on Legends of Tomorrow, and still and even doing the voice work in a lot of the DC animateds for John Constantine, depending on what side of the pond you're on.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about the people that call it eggplant aubergine, so it's fine. Like, I was watching British Bake Off, and they were like, the aubergine. I was like, oh, this is gonna be something fancy. Like, oh, what is this? This food. It comes out with eggplant. And I was just like, all right.
Look, I tell my wife all the time. I say, you know what? There's a lot of British people in there. This is gonna be good.
Style. So yeah, certain style.
I'm like, they're bringing something different to the table. This is gonna be pretty good. I like this.
They really do.
Yeah,
no,
people like.
Too many props. No, don't give them too many props. Don't give them too many props. Yeah, y'all stay over there. Let us get.
Don't take all the MCU roles.
Yeah,
we need some of them too.
Let some other folks get it. Like some folks from the south of the USA.
Right, something. We got a lot to pick from.
Yeah, we have a lot.
So, there's been a lot. We mentioned Sandman. I mentioned the stuff that's going on with Warner Brothers. I try not to, but they just keep throwing it. I'm like, I can't ignore it.
I saw like a tweet that was hilarious. They were just like, Ezra Miller has, they have an alarm on their phone that goes, "Yo, I have to do mischief." Mischief.
Look, I've gone so far. I've gone so far as saying that Ezra. Do I have it still? Let's see. I think I still got it. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, I've gone so far to say like Ezra Miller has become Reverse Zoom. It's just just what it is.
Exactly, Reverse Flash.
He's become the Reverse Flash. He's become Earbard Thawne. They've become Earbard Thawne and I don't know.
Yeah.
You've become the villain. You lived long enough to become the villain.
Yeah, I love that. That's such a classic line that's never gonna leave.
Right. You either die the hero or live long enough to become the villain. It's just, and this was what Ezra Miller has become. They have become the villain of their own design.
Yeah.
Weird.
I'm sure there's gonna be a documentary about all this. The next there's 10 years, 5 years.
It's gonna be a doc. They're gonna be like,
a little documentary about everything that they've done.
You're like, you thought that was something. You should have seen what was going on behind the scenes of the movie.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. You mentioned a lot of stuff. You mentioned like giving actors south of the border, south of the USA, acting roles and roles in some of these geek entertainment roles. And I had the privilege, and I think you did too, of checking out Prey this week.
Prey.
And I gotta say, impressed.
Oh yeah.
And
at first, I have to admit, when I first saw the trailer for it, I was like, I hope they don't screw this up. I hope they don't drop the ball on this, because all you see is like native folks fighting off Predator, and like I was hoping, because they always bank on Black and brown BIPOC trauma. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I really hope this isn't one of those situations based on the trailer. But once you watch the film, you're just like, no, this is oof.
And it's right there. And props to Amber Midthunder, who is the lead actress in this film, who not only auditioned in English, but auditioned in Comanche as well. And I was, if you hate it, you hate it. Or if you didn't like the CGI, fine, whatever. I can't nitpick there. What I can say is that this is a film that finally showed some representation, because we know how old Hollywood is when it came to showing indigenous people or people of any color.
Yeah, that's why I was afraid initially. I was just like, our native brothers, sisters, siblings, like they've been through enough. Like that, like I'm happy they have Reservoir Dogs. Like, so,
yes.
Yes. I'm happy they have Reservoir Dogs. So I'm like, do not hurt them even further. Like,
You're right.
Direction.
So and to see this, and not only that, but to see a woman play the lead and kick ass. I'm sorry, she was kicking ass.
Yeah. That's her sidekick with the dog, like Coco. Like,
I love the dog.
Like Coco, like yeah, like that's all you need.
Yeah. A girl and her dog.
A girl and her dog.
That's what it was. This was the story about. I need to do a recut of that movie, and like, this is a story about a girl and her dog.
Lovely story.
It's a lovely story.
It's a lovely story.
Oh my god. I need to redo. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. That's my homework for the week. I'm gonna do that. Just recut it and be like, here we go. A story about a girl and her dog. But I loved it. I'll be doing a review as well for that. It'll be on the YouTube channel. But tell me, what did you think about it?
I thought it was fantastic. I'm on board with. I thought the CGI was great. I thought the acting was brilliant. I had some friends that were fortunate enough to see it in theaters, and seeing it in theaters, having that energy and having everyone just like root for her. Like, when I don't want to spoil anything, I'm always just freaking out from spoiling, but I'm pretty sure everyone knows at this point that like she like
she ain't to be messed with.
Yeah,
she found that out the hard way.
Yeah, she's not to be messed with. So having that and plus the representation of it, like you're rooting for her. You're rooting for these folks, and you're rooting for, and honestly, it made me hungry for more stories about Native folks without white people in it.
Yeah.
It made me hungry for like all our stories to be told from our perspective, and it's just us.
It's
from our
something
lineage
that we needed, and I love, and the ones that were in it, boy, they were dispatched quite quickly.
Immediately.
It was like, no, this is not your film.
Oh, exactly. Oh man, what's the biggest Hotep's name? I forgot his name. Dr. Umar.
Oh yeah, Umar Johnson.
Yeah, I remember he posted he has his own thing on Twitter, and like a white woman tried to get in, and he messaged her to be like, "This is only for black folks," and she's like, "Should I leave?" He's like, "Yes, immediately."
Immediately.
Like,
this is not your film. You need to leave immediately.
Yeah, this is Prey. You need to leave immediately.
The only thing that kind of bothered me, and it's not the film, is just nobody, when they mentioned all the Predator films, nobody mentioned AVP.
Oh yeah, Alien versus Predator.
And I'm like, what was wrong with AVP? Wasn't bad. The last Predator wasn't all that great, but AVP wasn't bad.
AVP wasn't bad.
And once again, you had a female protagonist. You had Sanaa Lathan kicking ass. Yeah. And so also person of color, if you didn't know who she was. And she was kicking ass and actually teamed up with said Predator to take out an actual alien. Like, if anybody's watched any Predator films, you know that in Predator 2, you see the skull of an alien on a ship. That led to AVP years later.
Yeah, exactly. So, they're all intertwined.
So it's like, and I mean, we've had several comics with them facing off anyway. Sometimes it was three ways, like where it was Alien versus Predator versus Batman, Alien versus Predator versus Superman. It was always something.
Yeah, they're always
You
like
know,
entangled with each other.
yeah, and I mean, like, who wasn't here for that? I was here for that. I was ready for that. So,
Right.
but
I
yeah, you know, if you got Hulu, I implore you check it out. You'll have
check.
a shit ton of fun.
Yeah, we
I'm trying
both
to,
co-sign on it. Go check out.
yes, you know, Bill Dukes, who was in the original Predator, even gave his praise, and he said, "Welcome to the family." He was on Twitter,
Yeah,
and
Jesse Ventura too.
yeah, Jesse Ventura. Yep,
Yeah.
they both gave their blessing, and I'm like, that means people are watching, and they know, and like, and it was a fantastic, it was a great film. I loved it. So.
Yeah. I know.
Shout out to Amber Midthunder. I'd love to see more films that not only is she in, but more indigenous roles. And this is kind of what this show is about right now, is just, you know, the TV shows that has shown vast improvement when it comes to POC involvement, LBGTQ involvement. Just there's a number of shows out there that if you don't know, now you know. And that's what we're here talking about today. So I'll bring up a couple up right now. One of the first shows is actually Young Justice.
I love Young Justice. I actually have a friend that writes on Young Justice.
Yes, look at me.
I know.
We got to get him on.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit up John and be like, John, you have to be on my show.
Yes, we got to get him on. I don't care which one. We got to get him on. I absolutely love Young Justice because Young Justice has shown, especially this past season, chef's kiss. They've shown so many different variations, and I wasn't shocked. I was more surprised and glad because you had characters. I can't think of her. Halo is one of the characters. And even though physically she looks like a female, she's actually an alien, but doesn't recognize herself as a female. So she'd rather be called they. You know, you have Aqualad, who's actually gay and involved in a polyamorous relationship. You know, you have Superboy and you have Miss Martian. So you're talking about pretty much interracial marriage at that point. You have Rocket, who's most famous for Icon and Rocket. She's in the show. They show it's gorgeous what they're doing, and that they don't hide from it, and it's not forced. It's just it melds. It just flows easy.
It's natural.
It's like, natural.
Things like this should be written as natural. I hate it when it's forced. And you can always feel as an audience member.
You can tell.
You can tell. And that's what I hate about writing sometimes, if you have to force something on the audience. Like the audience know these characters, the audience know these people, the audience want to be along with the story. Don't trick us into feeling emotions or forcing us to like feel something for certain characters and situations. So when it's natural like that, it's kind of like applause. Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm watching this past season, I'm just like, they did it. They did it. Also, and then they kept doing it. And I'm like,
yes.
Is you see, it's not hard. It's not hard.
It's not hard. Just go outside. Go outside.
Just go outside. It's not hard.
Feel the grass.
Another show that gets a lot of praise, and unfortunately it just recently ended, is Blackish. You know, here you had number one, positivity mixed with comedy. I love Diane. I if she's not a villain, I don't know who is. But I love her character. Masai Martin is amazing as Diane. Is funny. But Anthony Anderson, Tracy Ellis Ross, Lawrence Fishburne, Jennifer. What is Jennifer's last name? I always forget her last name. But we always know her as auntie. She's like the black auntie of Hollywood.
Yeah,
she's the black auntie of Hollywood.
Yeah, we don't say the name. We just say auntie.
It's auntie.
Yeah,
and it's auntie. But you know, one, You have a black father who's married, has children, has a great, I wouldn't say great relationship with his father, but he has a relationship with his father. You know,
Yeah, we need to
he
show
has,
that.
yeah. And he has a relationship with his father, has a relationship with his kids, no matter how awkward it is, it's what we needed to see. And I'm glad we got to, and they addressed issues. That was the beautiful thing. They addressed issues that I hadn't seen addressed since Rock, from back in the late 80s. So like there's an episode that stands out where President Obama, when he was
Yeah.
first elected,
Yeah.
episode stood out to me majorly because there was that happiness. And even when they were going through the whole moment, and then when that parade was happening and he got out the car, when he described the fear that he had, I knew that fear he was talking about. I remember watching that. And me and my wife were like, no, get up, get back in the car, get back in the car. And because it was that fear of, you're like, we got our first black president, and we know there are people who don't like that, and we know there are crazy people or even worse, and we had that fear.
It's very reality based, because like as black folks, we have to always carry so many emotions at one time.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're carrying such positivity because we love our lives. Like honestly, like when it comes to black people, when it comes to everyone saying like trans joy is resistance, Latino joy is resistance, that came from black joy.
Yeah.
It originated from black people being like, I'm going to be happy despite all the shit you put in my way. Besides all the systematic oppression you put in my goddamn way. We will find a way. Like
we are resilient people.
We are very resilient people. So that's where that originated from. And like it originated from black folk. And because you can't steal our joy, but at the same time, we know reality.
Mm-hmm.
We know how things are perceived when it comes to us. We know how interactions and how police see us, how white folks just walking down the street holding their shit tighter when we walk by us. So, but at the same time, so we're carrying like, in a moment like that, that's a very realistic thing where it's just like, all right, we gotta be happy for what just happened. It's historical, but we also gotta deal with the reality of what this might bring as well. And honestly, I'm glad they did that because we're still dealing with it to this day.
Yeah, we are. In many retrospects. Insecure.
Yes.
Insecure. Issa Rae. What can I say? Issa Rae, who is pretty much a trailblazer at this point. And making power moves. The sister is making moves. All right. She's on it. And creating a show like that shows women in black women in positive spaces, still dealing with some issues that we all deal with, in relationships, at jobs, just relationship with your friends, and still keep you pulled in without having the the reality shows, I use the air quotes if you're listening. I like what they were doing.
Your reflection in your voice went up, so I think they got it.
Yeah. that was I give it to people like Issa Rae. I love when women who are standing out and standing up and pushing forward and doing these master classes and offering these programs for these young black girls. It's just, I'm here for it.
Oh, I love it. I love the second season where it was she was going through with Molly. By the way, my friends always describe me as Issa. So if you want to know real life, you probably just be like, "Oh, she's literally Issa," and I was like, "I don't know about all that." Yeah. I'm just like, I don't know about all that, but that's what my friends say. But moving on. But I do like the first and second season where it's like her and Molly, and it's about her breakup, but it's also like the ultimate breakup is like friendship breakups. Like I admit, like a friendship breakup is way harder to deal with than a boyfriend girlfriend breakup.
Because you're just it's you can get over a boyfriend girlfriend breakup so much easier, but like you said, when it comes to a friend breakup, you're just like, damn, this person like really been in my life for years, and to like for one reason or another, you either grow and go separate ways, or just something triggers, and it's, you know, you realize, is it a comfort factor, is it a comfort zone factor? It's so much involved. It is so much involved. And
I've experienced a few friendship breakups, but at the same time, it's just like it happens. But I'm glad they addressed it, and obviously they got back to being friends. So it's always like a nice balance of seeing them all happy. I want to see more Black women happy and stuff.
Yeah. Here's another show that people that listen to the show or watch the show know is Lovecraft Country. Good Jonathan Lord.
He's gonna be
this cast. This cast, you know, rest in peace, Michael K. Williams. But this cast, not disappointed in one scene, period.
Seriously, 100%. 100%. Oh my God.
If there was any doubt in anyone's mind, doesn't matter what race it is, but if there is any doubt in anyone's mind that people of color can be the lead in an action film, a lead in a sci-fi film, a lead in a horror film, and live, be the lead in this love story and not have all this drama attached to it, or some, you know, some crazy drama. This was the show that proved it.
Yeah. Oh my God, Jonathan, every time I see his face, Jonathan Majors, I'm always just like, oh my God, I can't wait for him as a villain. I can't wait for...
We was Kangs! No.
We was Kangs! I cannot wait. Every time I see his face, I'm always just like, I want this. I want this right now. Someone please release Ant-Man 3 right now. Right now.
Somebody start leaking stuff. Start leaking it
right now. Like, I just
leak that little trailer that they showed at SDCC, please.
Yeah. I don't want to
not that one where it's at a weird angle and is muffled like not that one. We want the clear one.
Like what he said to Ant-Man after he was like, "Oh, I'm an Avenger." The way he said to him, I was just like, I don't know if can I say that on here? Can I say what he said on here? All right, I'll say what. But he's like, "How many of you have I killed?" And I was like, "Fuck." Like, great.
And he has a delivery. He's literally becoming one of my favorite actors.
Yes,
no lie.
His delivery is chilling as hell. Because he says it in such like a cold, but like I would say like kind of like Joker-esque, because he's like smiling and he's happy, but it's just like you're just literally saying you're killing the Avengers.
Put him and Giancarlo Esposito in the same room as a villain. I'll fold. I'll fold.
Yeah. I was like,
where's it? I'm like, I don't even know what y'all up to, but they right down the street. They over there around the corner. I ain't got nothing to do with it. That's the worst. I'm like, yo, y'all too calm. Y'all way too calm. I don't know what's happening right now.
Yeah, it's always the calm ones. Once you start,
like, I might be able to face off with one of y'all, but both of y'all in the room, I got a problem. So
right. That's what I always tell. Because like I coach boxing as well, and I'm always like, yo, if someone tells you and they're super calm about it, don't fight them. Listen.
Right.
They're super calm, and then you see someone that's like loud and like they probably had a little few drinks, and they're telling this person, hey.
They're normally the first one that's on their back anyway.
Yeah, right. Like, you're just like, don't do this. I was like, listen, because it's the calm ones that usually win because they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They gotta have to get under your skin.
Another person who in that cast that stands out is Journey Smollett.
I love her.
That girl can act. She can act. And what the scene that does it for me is when they're in the diner in the sundown town.
Yeah.
in the between that one and the scene where they're in the woods, I've never seen from now on from now on, black people in horror movies, you run like she did.
Yeah, no. When I saw her run, when I saw her take off, I was like, this show is for us.
Yeah. Like she had form. She didn't look back. She didn't trip. She kept it moving.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Like, I honestly, like, a lot of people I'll never be in, like, they need to have a real depiction of us in horror movies, because black folks will not be like, oh, let's volunteer and go see what that noise was. They're like, I don't know, just
like, no, I don't think so.
I'm gonna go that way.
Who is we? Who is we? Who do you mean?
Who's we?
Like, we don't do that. I don't know about y'all, but we don't do that.
Yeah, I remember my birth certificate not saying we. So
right.
I
was alone in that birth canal. I remember that.
I remember that. I don't remember we. I don't know.
Like, I don't remember you in the crib with me. None of that. So, here's another film or a show. Bridgerton. Bridgerton put black people in England, Victorian England, in royalty. And
I was saying royalty.
Yes. Oh man, it was something to behold. And they were dressing their ass off.
I love it so much. I love seeing black people as royalty all the time.
They did not come to play.
All the
They
time.
did not come to play. Like, I mean, it made me want to go out. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should get a ruffled collar shirt. Walk around with one hand in my pocket and act like I'm telling the time.
I might even get my car revoked, but I'm trying to remember her name. The creator.
Shonda Rhimes.
Shonda Rhimes, yeah. I was like,
Shonda Rhimes. Shonda Rhimes.
Name?
Yeah, Shonda Rhimes. It was like she had her. I'm like, yeah, you made sure you put your stamp on that one. That was you didn't come to play. You didn't come to play. There's a lot of other ones. Here's another one. Star Trek Discovery.
Yes.
Has a very nice mix. Very nice mix.
It's such a good mix.
Yeah.
Such a good mix. But that's how sci-fi should be. That's how Star Trek should be, though.
And you know what? To be honest with you, they always have had their foothold on that.
Yeah.
They never really shied away from, different species, races, anything. They made sure they put that out there. They're like they don't hide from that.
Especially like they rest in peace again to Nichelle Nichols.
Yeah.
But I mean, they never, like you said, they never shied away from it.
They were just like, what? Do it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Do it anyway. It's our stuff, Gene Roddenberry was somewhere like, I said do it. I don't care. What they gonna say? Cancel? We're bringing in the ratings right now. So yeah, even when you have people like, what's her name? She plays a horror. Celia Rose Gooding, like playing a young Ahura. She's gorgeous, by the way.
Stunning.
Just to stand in that role is amazing. You have people like Nichelle. I was going to say Nichelle Nichols.
I know her.
Yes.
Yeah,
Michelle Yeoh. You have Sonequa Martin Green, who's also on there.
Sonequa, honestly, I remember when they announced the show, and I was a Walking Dead fan too. And I remember being like, how is she going to be on Walking Dead and this? Next thing you know,
I will say she went out like a champ.
Damn, she went out like a champ though.
Because I was cheering for, if I was cheering for any zombie, it was going to be her at that point. It was just like, please get his ass.
Like a champ because she was the closest to him at the time. She was the closest to me at the time.
She took that pill, took herself out, and the minute he popped that coffin open,
I was like, props to you. That's how you exit a show. and go to something bigger.
She may not. She didn't get him like she wanted to, but God dog it, she was the closest one.
I mean, but she got what she like the top. It's like
She's like, I'm going out on my terms and
yeah,
my
exactly.
terms on
my terms, and then next time you're gonna see me, I'm a captain.
right. So
Like,
and what? That's and what? Some other notable there's other cartoons like Steven Universe that shows a lot of they show a lot of inclusion.
Queer spectrum there.
Yeah, Pose is another show that doesn't shy away. Pose is another one.
Pose, I love Harley Quinn.
Yeah, like the Harley Quinn cartoon. Yes,
the Harley Quinn cartoon. You gotta mention that.
Yes.
Such great representation there.
Craig of the Creek.
Craig of the Creek,
which I absolutely love because I'm just like, yeah, I can remember doing some of this as a kid. Not this extreme, but some of this as a kid.
Yeah, they gotta make it a little more extreme.
I love it. I love his little sister because it's just adorable. She did a Sailor Moon shout out where she turned into herself a little to this power princess type character, and I was like, yo, this is fun. I like this.
I gotta have fun. Oh, another good one.
She-Ra, yes. The Netflix series She-Ra, yes. I love how they're not shying away on a lot of these shows. And like you said earlier, they're not forcing it. You know, this is happening and it's gradual and it's there and it's positive. And I didn't put her on. American Horror Story is another one where they have LBGTQ characters. They have characters of color. Angela Bassett, my lifetime crush, playing one of the baddest characters on that show. And
yeah, you can't really have Angela Bassett and not give her like
the flowers. The flowers.
The flowers. Like you got to give her something because like she'll just take it and run with it to a point where you're just seeing like a masterpiece. So So I always love seeing her on there. I was reading up on it. They said that the next season they're bringing back a lot of favorites.
Ooh.
So Zachary Quinto's coming back. They're trying to get Sarah Paulson to come back.
I don't see why they shouldn't bring her back. Bring her back. She's like almost a staple at this point.
Yeah, I know. I think it's mostly on her terms at this point. She's probably like, I'm whored out. So, I think they're definitely trying to convince her to come back. Mm-hmm. But I mean, since the beginning, Sarah Paulson was.
She's been there. Like she's been there. And Angelica Houston she's pretty much been there. You know, there's a couple of them that's been there, and they're like, yeah, you're not leaving.
I know his name is Evan. He played the Flash.
Oh,
Peterson.
Yes. There's so much. Yeah, Evan Peterson. I'm like, dude, you might have just a regular job here. Like, you show up. If I see a season and he's not on it, I'm like, did he not want to do it? Like, did Sarah Paulson not want to be here? Like, if Sarah Paulson's here and Angelica Houston's, well, Evan Peterson should be here too, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think he just walks up. He's like, okay, I'm here. They're like, you don't have a script yet, but I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be
like, I'm here. You know, so I love what they're doing. I'm glad that they are more than open to do the inclusion, because it's just like, you can always say this person is gay, this person is trans or whatever, but it's not the story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not the main part of the story.
Oh my gosh,
this just happens to be.
Gay and trans folks actually have lives that don't center around.
It just so happened. Now, if they have a relationship that revolves around, that's fine, but it's not forced. You know what I mean? It's not a forced thing.
Best to start, I think Schitt's Creek had it really great too.
Oh, beautiful.
To just show normal relationships. Like, everyone goes through the same thing.
The Levies are funny, period. They're just funny people. And I swear to God, the father and son look. When I seen a young picture of Eugene Levy, I'm like, you couldn't deny your son if you wanted to.
Yeah. No, Oh yeah, they're in spitting image.
Yeah, I was just like, matter of fact, he showed because his son was a guest on Saturday Night Live, and Eugene Levy was there, and he was like, "Dad, what are you doing here?" Because he had just showed a picture of his father when he was younger, and I'm like, "Yo, yeah, you and your dad." Then I'm like, "Yeah, y'all look the same."
Eugene Levy got them strong genes. It's like,
man, you could. That's not my kid. Bullshit.
Nah, I feel like Mari could just walk in the room and just look. Like, I don't even need to take a DNA test. Like,
right.
Like,
well, we already know where this is going. Oh,
yeah. You are the father, and
you are the father.
Immediately.
Immediately.
Like, just exit immediately.
Here's the check. So I'm done now. But I like what they're doing with this inclusion. I like how they're even Doom Patrol on HBO Max inclusion, because you had Negative Man, who was actually gay. He was trying to hide it, but he accepted it later because he had a lover in the army back in the, what was it, like the 40s or something like that?
The 40s, yeah. It was definitely a time I had to hide it from him.
Yeah, like, so but he came to accept that later on. Seeing these people, even Cyborg, which, you know, other than Ray Fisher, I'm still on the fence how the actor is for Doom Patrol, how he fits for me. I just rather see him in Titans for some reason. That's where I'm used. Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah, he has such a baby face.
You're right. So but I do like the inclusion. I like that the stories aren't being forced down our throat. And I like the fact that everybody has a seat at the table now and a story to tell without compromising the integrity, compromising the quality, you know, because you can always tell when something's forced. You can especially when it starts, you can always tell.
Yeah, you can tell. Like, there's a few CW shows and I'm like, this is very forced.
Yeah. Like, you know, I remember when Batwoman was dropping, and my wife was like, "Why does she got to be?" I'm like, "She's gay in the comics, so that's fine." You know, it's okay. You know, but when this started becoming like, it seemed like every show that they had to have at least one, and I'm like,
Every episode, they got to show up like, I'm gay.
No, and I'm just like
did you just?
I'm like, when did I was like Sarah Lance? I'm like, when did Sarah? Okay.
Yeah, like what? Yeah. Like, I feel like I always joke like
the same one who cheated with Oliver Queen, right? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I always joke that, like, did they punch a enforcer and then just stand there and pose and say I'm gay? And you're just like, wait, what? Just what? Why?
It's not every character, and even if they are, you don't need the forced storyline to show that. And that was the issue, because they had, what did they have, like 5 or 6 shows at one point, and it seemed like everyone on each show was gay.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
yeah, there's nothing wrong with folks being gay. It's just one of those things that gay, queer, or trans is just. But I'm pretty sure most folks in the community don't want to be pandered to like that or forced.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. I'm like, okay, now it's 1 or 2, fine, but now it seems like you're spoon feeding everybody, and it didn't sit right.
Also, I just hate it when they do that to audiences. Like, they need to respect audiences to understand what's happening. Like, don't force feed us. Like, we'll get it.
Another show which unceremoniously was canceled, Charmed, which starred Latinx sisters. You know, that was another inclusion. You know, so they try. And for one reason or another, it may not flow or it may not go how they want it, but it works in most cases. So, you know, as long as they stay the course and say, hey, the story we have to tell doesn't surround their choice and lifestyle, but we want to make sure that they're also represented. Whether it's the LBGTQ community, whether it's people of color, whether it's women of color, it's fine. We want the inclusion. Don't pander to any of these groups by forcing it.
Yeah, the pandering is the pandering is very unfortunate. That's where we usually have to put our foot down and say, hey, this is too much. Like,
yeah,
get it. But that's always represented represented by who's actually in the writer's room. Because you can always feel
that's really what it boils down to.
Yeah, you can really feel like who's in the writer's room when certain issues are forced. And there are certain episodes where I'm like, all right, this was written from perspective, talking about what Black people go through.
Yeah,
it's like you can always tell when it's a white person writing about Black experiences. They put more into social justice than the actual character, or they put more into trauma than the actual character, and you're just like, a Black person.
I'm starting to sense a pattern. I'm sensing a pattern.
Like, you can definitely tell when a Black person writes from our perspective compared to a white person who writes from our perspective.
Right.
And there's been so many times where I can immediately peg it. Like, one of my friends does like script reading, and he mentioned like, oh my God, like they get the social justice stuff right, but there's not really going on. And I was like, are they white? And he was like, oh, like,
and like, there it is.
They white.
They were like, yep, and there it is. Like, that's all she wrote.
There it is. There it is.
Like you can pick it out.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm not gonna overthink it.
No. Oh man. So before we head out, Traci, tell them where they can find you.
Hi, I'm Traci. I'm on Instagram at crazycar77. You can check me out on there.
Go follow my girl. She's out there doing the work. She's handling the business. She's walking the walk. She's backing it up. She's putting her money where her mouth is. In other words, give her more money.
Yes. Yes.
she's really out here being a warrior and helping these people in any way she can. And I can appreciate her for that. And I love what she's doing. So please go out there.
I have something
if you stay out there.
I have something in the works that I'm hoping that I can announce on here in the coming weeks that I'm really proud about. I can't really say what it is right now. But
anticipation.
Yeah, I know. I just want to, but I'm the type of person, like, I get very cautiously optimistic, but I have things in the works, and it's just like, once it's finalized, that's why I'm talking about it. But you get start a project, and you're like, oh, this is going to be fantastic. But at the same time, you're like, gotta say mum. Because you never know, it may fall through.
You're itching you're etching. I get it. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Guess what, everybody? Guess where you can find me? Damn near everywhere. If you go to IG, go to Blerds Eye View. Don't worry, the website will be back up. I'm revamping it right now. You go to IG, you follow us on all the. Let's see who is this. Yeah, I do love to see it. But if you go to IG, that was my man Will. If you go to IG, go to Blerds Eye View. Go to it'll pointing to all the social sites that I'm on. The TikTok, my other IG page, Chris.Fury1, the YouTube page, and soon, once it's back up and running, the webpage. I'm also in the market. I don't even know if that's the right way to say it. Anyway, Blerds Eye View is expanding. The media is expanding. I'm looking for a crew of Black women, women of color. If you can write to help on the website, if you can talk about it and be on the show, if you're a gamer, because there are a lot of Black female gamers out there, Come on. I'm building a team. All right.
Yeah. You're assembling a team.
I'm assembling the team. I'm using my namesake for what it is. I am building a team, and I trust women of color. You know, I support women of color, people that know me, that watch me, that listen to me. They already know that. Um, they know that this door is open. Right now, I'm looking for women that's in Ohio pretty soon. That's going to be expanding past that and going national. I'll be looking like, hey, if you can, bring it in. Whatever your skill set is. If you like writing about television reviews or film reviews or talking about these things, and I don't mean just comics, cosplay, gaming, and anime. I mean entertainment as a whole. That means music and any of the above. Go to the IG page, go inside the DMs, and the Will says an initiative, if you will. Exactly, it's an initiative. Um, go to the IG page, drop me a DM. I'll give you the information of what I need from you. I'll give you my emails and everything else, and we'll converse. But yes, I am looking for a team of strong women, and I will support you. I will back you. I'm the man on the wall. I'll say what I mean. People that know that I've supported in the POC community when it comes to their Kickstarters, to new projects that they're wanting to push out, to cons that they're wanting to check out, books they want to check out, new writing material that they have. They know they can come to me. They know that door is open. They know I will put it out there any way possible and show my support any way possible. So if you know women of color who have those skill sets, come holler at me. I want to thank my guest, Traci. Hold on, what did he say? He just, no sooner I clicked it. What did he say? The Blerds Eye Initiative. Yes. The Blerds Eye Initiative.
I love that.
That's the mission. That's the mission statement. But yeah, please come check it out. I want to thank my co-host, Traci, coming on. We're talking about women of color and empowerment and being recognized in geek entertainment. I know that with all that we've talked about tonight, I know that platform is growing. I know there are women in front of the screen, behind the microphone, behind that pen or computer that have stories to tell or wanting to tell their stories. They're there. I'm here to listen. I'm here to put that out there so everybody can feel safe, because this is a actual safe space platform. I don't play. I do not play.
Very safe space. And I just want to say I appreciate you for letting me be the co-host for the season.
I am so glad you decided to be. Yeah. I'm like, it took her one time to be on the show, and I'm like, I gotta have that one. I gotta have that one. I was like, let me grab her.
I really appreciate you. Just having these moments, just having these Thursdays, like understanding like how to get the groove when it comes to hosting, and like just having conversations and feeling good about those conversations, feeling good about the voice that I have. So I appreciate it. Because this is a safe space, and I want to bring some folks in too. Let's just have a time and talk about this stuff.
Yeah, please. You know how I am. I'm like, just throw it at me. I'm like, okay, let's do it. I'm an open book. This door is open.
Yeah, right.
I want people to understand, even though it's Blerd's Eye View and I'm looking for women of color, that does not mean that is exclusive to the content. That just means it's inclusive to everyone. So everyone is welcome to come on and talk about entertainment, not just geek entertainment, but entertainment period, because there is so much that we geek out about. That geek entertainment is an encompassing thing.
Yeah, everything is geeky in some kind of way.
Yeah, everything. People miss that. They miss that mark. They think it's just comics and anime and cosplay. Oh no, it goes a little deeper than that. You know, so you have sci-fi writers and everything.
To be a gamer nerd.
Oh god,
you be a nerd for sports. You be a nerd for everything.
Yeah,
it's always nerd.
So you know,
you're just basically you're really into something. Like that's it.
And you're passionate about it. And as many people that's been listening to the show, and people that's been listening to the show for 2 years know that I'm pretty damn passionate about everything dealing in entertainment. And I put my heart into it, you know. So, you know, when people say something and is wrong about Black Panther, trust me, I'm pretty much one of the first ones on the line. Like, well, hold on, What you're not gonna do is deface the name. What you yeah, yeah, you know it. You know, yes, right, Will. You know what it is. So I like you. What you're not gonna do is deface the king's name. Well, we're not having that. But once again, tune in this Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Me and the gang are getting together, and we are talking about sequels that they should have made, opposed to sequels that should not have seen the screen at all. Fast and Furious, I'm looking at you. You had time to stop. You jumped the shark a long time ago. But tune in for that 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We don't know what we're doing for next Thursday, but tune in Tuesday to find out. So until next time, like I do with every show, remember to educate yourself and others, entertain yourself and others, and most of all, encourage yourself and others. Thank you, Traci, for coming on. For those who's checking this out, remember to watch us on Opulence Radio. Let me pull that up real quick so they can see that. Get the Opulence Radio app. You can listen to Blerds Eye View every Monday and Thursday throughout the entire day. So you can listen to past episodes. You can go to the YouTube channel as well. That's in the if you go to the IG. If you go to the IG page, it will point you straight in that direction. So you can also listen to us anywhere you listen to your podcast, which is on Opulence Radio app, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, the whole nine. But until next Tuesday, where me and the gang get in, we're going to get a little crazy because that's what we do. We're out of here.
Bye, guys. Bye. That was a good episode.